and the blessing it holds. Guide our hearts with kindness, our words with wisdom, and our steps with purpose. May we honor you in all we do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome again, everyone. I'm calling to order the City of Lee Summit regular session number 51 as amended. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Hodges?
Here.
Councilmember Rader?
Present.
Councilmember Pryor? Councilmember Shields?
Here.
Councilmember Funk?
Here.
Councilmember Lovell?
Here.
Councilmember Carlisle? Mayor Pro Tem Lopez?
Here.
Mayor Beard?
Here. Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion? All right, I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Councilmember Hodges, seconded by Councilmember Funk. Discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in, please record the vote. Passes 7-0, thank you. Next is the approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion? I have a motion to approve the consent agenda by Councilmember Hodges, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Lopez. Council discussion. Seeing none, please cast your vote. Missing one. All votes are in, please record the vote. It passes unanimously, thank you. And then that takes us to council roundtable. Items of general interest, things going on in your community, in your district. Okay. All right, they're not a talkative crew tonight, that's okay. We will go to proclamations then. We've got 2 proclamations tonight. Let's start with, the first one I have here is Feed Lee Summit. If we could start with anybody here for Feed Lee Summit. I'm kind of surprised. They usually bring a crowd. I wonder if they thought they were going to bring it.
Ryan and I will join
All
you.
right.
Part of Rotary.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah, come on, Ron. Come on. Rotary members?
Let's see, Joe, Tracy, Joe,
Rotary.
Your son. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the support. All right. Whereas hunger is a universal social problem increasing in cities across the country and throughout the world. Whereas children, senior citizens, veterans, the disabled, the unemployed, the poor, and the homeless are all affected by hunger. And whereas finding solutions to end hunger is an ongoing challenge, and providing food for individuals and families is a top priority for local nonprofit organizations in the City of Lee Summit. Whereas our community is comprised of compassionate, philanthropic people who desire to help their neighbors and fellow citizens by supporting and contributing to local nonprofit organizations. And whereas to help alleviate hunger in our community on November 14th, 2025, the 2 Rotary Clubs of Lee Summit are sponsoring the Feed Lee Summit fundraising event and will donate proceeds to Cold Water, Lee Summit Social Services, Meals on Wheels, Boost for Success, and One Good Meal, benefiting over 4,700 residents. By virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Lee Summit, I hereby proclaim November 2025 as Feed Lee Summit Month. Who would like to? You were a past chair of the Rotary. How about Mr. Eden?
Well, I think Joe was a past president of the Sunrise Club too. So,
That was a long time.
my name's Ryan Elam. I'm the past president of the Rotary Club of Lee Summit, and we've been partnering with the Sunrise Sunset Club of the Rotary Club of Lee Summit for several years now. And really, it was their event that started off as Empty Bowls that has grown into a major fundraiser to help fight food insecurity in the community. 5 organizations are the benefactors from it. It's a great event. It's a great community event. Tickets are on sale now. It's going to be held out at the Goppert Center at Unity Village this year. And the goal is to raise, I believe, $150,000 this year. Last year it was close to 180, it was well over 100 last year that was able to be donated. Up here with us, we got several members of both Rotary clubs. Hopefully you can come out and enjoy the event.
Thank you. Would you all take a picture? Thank you for your service to Rotary and more. Thank you all. Who would like to take?
We'll get it back to you.
Okay, a couple of you might want to stay up here for the Community Planning Month. Community Planning Month. It's NASA. Okay, thank you. All right, whereas change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, boroughs, townships, rural areas, and other places. Whereas planners can help navigate the change with data-driven insights and expertise that provide better choices for how people live, work, and play. Whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningfully involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. Whereas the full benefits of planning require public, elected, and appointed officials who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. Whereas the month of October is designated as the National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and its territories, and whereas the American Planning Association endorses National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight how planning is essential to every community and how planners are uniquely positioned to identify solutions to communities' most difficult housing, transportation, and land use questions. By virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Lee Summit, I do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Community Planning Month. I'd like to speak on behalf.
There we go.
Thank you very much, Mayor, members of the council. Each October, National Community Planning Month takes the opportunity to recognize the work that urban planning professionals do, both the front of the house work that you see on Tuesday evenings at city council meetings and a lot of the behind the scenes work that happens on a day-to-day basis, propelling projects forward, and we've got a team here that is dedicated to community betterment and ensuring a high quality of life for Lee's Summit residents, past, present, and future. I'd also like to take the opportunity, I'd be remiss if I didn't send a huge bet of gratitude to our planning commission and also to the council who join us on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, sometimes Wednesday nights too, to walk through these project and policy related issues with us. And thank you for the patience you sometimes show us as it relates to many a project we have in front of you. And now I'll just take a moment to let the planners and the project managers introduce themselves. I am Tracy Albers, I'm the Director of Development Services. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dare Bright, Senior Planner.
Dan Fernandez, Project Manager.
Scott Reddy, Project Manager.
Amy Nassif, Deputy Director.
Hector Soto Jr., Senior Planner.
Okay, very good. Well done. Come on in here, Ms. Albers. Appreciate you all. Thank you for your hard work. right. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started on some business. First, we're on agenda item 5A now. We're on a public hearing. So we're going to close the regular session and open the public hearing in the matter of agenda item 5A. This is a Unified Development Ordinance amendments to Article 8, Section 6.1590 and Section 6.1680 pertaining to special event permits, and Article 9, Section 9.220 pertaining to temporary signs. The City of Lee Summit is the applicant. Would all those wishing to speak to this matter please rise to be sworn in by the city clerk.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good evening. Amy Nassif, Deputy Director of Development. Pull this up for us here. So here this evening to talk about some updates to our permits that we were looking at in the UDO to address items with the World Cup coming soon. So we did go to CEDC back in August, and then also Planning Commission. And what we were working with them was we have some permits in several of our categories that we're looking for some temporary relief on, which will help us through that time period with our resources and where we have our priorities. And so those buckets or those category areas are our temporary signs, food trucks and food carts, and then fireworks permits as well, and then kind of our blanket of our special events for commercial special events, entertainment, and athletic special events. So again, here tonight to take that proactive approach to World Cup and being prepared for that so that we can have all our resources in the appropriate places and allocation of such, including our staff and our staffing resources, and looking at what is the focus for the community priorities, and also to support our community stakeholders, businesses, and residences. So the first permit that we want to talk about is fireworks. This does currently require a special event permit, and what our recommendation is here is for there to be a moratorium during the time period of June 1st to July 31st for special event permits being issued for large public fireworks displays. So not if you're doing, shooting off some bottle rockets or something in your backyard, but for the larger events, the lake, and that would be where we would not be approving any permits during that time, except for our legacy fireworks displays, which would be at Raintree, Lake, and Lakewood subdivisions. So, and this slide is just a little bit different than in your packet. I just added a section header for it. But it's subsection E. The language in red is what we would be updating, and it would just be for that June 1st to July 31st time period. That special event would not be approved for the following types of events, except for the legacy fireworks at, again, Raintree and Lakewood, and then also commercial or entertainment events, which would require additional security or expecting more than 1,000 people of attendees, or athletic events the same. So we would not want to be providing special event permits for those large scale events that would have more than 1,000 people unless it is a FIFA sponsored or city sponsored event, and the same with any athletic events during that time period. Was there any questions on this one at all? Okay. So then the next area would be food trucks and food carts. So our UDO currently in Article 6 has a series of requirements, and a special event permit is required for our food trucks or mobile food vendors. Right now we have distance restrictions, we have hours of operation that they can operate in, or excuse me, that can't operate in. So, and then also mobile food carts right now are actually allowed on sidewalks and parking areas. So during the time of the World Cup events, our recommendation is to remove the hours of operation restriction in that CBD area. And in the CBD area, food trucks would only be permitted on private property, unless again you're associated with a city-sponsored or FIFA event. And so those would be relaxing those rules. But then also we want to add that food carts would not be allowed on sidewalks or public parking areas during this time, because we want to keep those areas clear. And so what that language would look like, again, a little snapshot for you, is the language in red is the new language. That just covers what we're talking about just for that very temporary time period of June 1st to July 31st. And then the last area is temporary signs, signs being everybody's favorite topic. So right now we allow just 4 temporary signs, a max of 4 on any property. You do have to get a temporary sign permit in order to put up a temporary sign. And the duration maximum is 90 days or 5 days from the end of an event. Also signs, of course, are not allowed in the right of way, and we do have height and size restrictions for each type of temporary sign as well. And so for just the temporary signs, not permanent ones, we are anticipating there'll probably be an influx of temporary signs. And again, trying to see where do we want to spend our resources and that staffing time out in the community. So what we're recommending is that we remove the maximum number of signs permitted just during this time period, and that a temporary sign permit's not required. The reason for that is we do anticipate with such a large number, we'd rather allocate our resources being out in the field, being out in the community, removing signs that are in the right of way if they are, working in other areas, helping to keep the community clean and clear and safe during that time period. So if we don't have these sign permits to process that are only for a short duration anyway, that'll really help with that effort. And it doesn't mean that we still wouldn't have the ability to make sure they're not in the right of way or anything of that nature as well. And removing the maximum number of signs. And that's just a matter of, we know and are anticipating and have the idea that people are not always going to follow that maximum number of 4. So again, do we want to be, worried about that as much, or being out in the community and making sure the signs aren't not getting the sign clutter or things in the right of way or blocking or causing safety issues. So the area of the code that would capture is subsection F here. Again, it's just the new language is just the language in red, only for that short duration of June 1st to July 31st, just stating that the temporary sign permit not required, and the total number of signs at given property is not restricted. Again, just to help us with where should our priorities be during this time. And that is actually all that we have for you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, questions? Yes, Councilmember Shields.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a couple of questions. When you talk about city-sponsored events that are exempt from some of these requirements, would something that's sponsored by like the LS Goal Group be considered a private event? They're not really affiliated with the city, but I know we're going to be sort of partnering with them on some of this, so how would that work?
If we're partnering with them, sponsor or co-sponsoring, then that would be covered.
Okay, so like if I think they're still figuring out details, but if they were to use Green Street with the city's permission and that kind of thing, they would be able to?
That event would be okay.
Okay. And then when you were talking about food trucks not allowed in like public parking areas, what constitutes a public parking area? So like if you have, I think on 291 a lot of times you see some food trucks parked in the parking lot outside of like I think the Home Goods or At Home store, whatever that one is over there. Would that constitute a public parking since it's open to the public, or is that private property that would still be allowed to have a food truck?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question because I need to clarify if I misspoke. It was just the food carts. Okay. So food carts would not be allowed in public parking areas or on sidewalks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so the food trucks.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clarification. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Other questions? Anyone see any other questions? Okay. All right, then then I'm going to go to, if there's anyone here that wishes to speak in favor or in opposition to the application, please come forward. All right, any additional questions from council? Ms. Nassif, do you care to make any further comment?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. Hearing no further testimony, I'm closing the public hearing and reopening the regular session. Is there any council discussion on this application? Okay, Judge will say thank you to staff for putting forth the work. We've been wanting to address this and get ahead of this in a timely manner, and so appreciate the timeliness of this and the work that went into it. Hearing no further testimony, did I close the public hearing already? I'll close it again. I will close the public hearing and reopen the regular session. Any council discussion? I'm pretty sure I closed it twice now. All right, then, Councilmember Shields, would you please read Bill number 25-188?
Thank you, Mayor. I move for second reading of Bill number 25-188, an ordinance amending Chapter 33 of the Lee Summit Code of Ordinances, Article 6 pertaining to special events and mobile food vending, and amending Article 9 pertaining to temporary signs for a specified time period during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. City of Lee Summit, applicant.
Thank you. We have a motion to move to second reading Bill number 25-188 by Councilmember Shields, seconded by Councilmember Hodges. Discussion. Seeing none, please cast your vote. All votes are in. Please record the vote. Passes 8-0. Thank you all for your work on that and attention. Next, we will go to public comments. We have 3 speakers tonight. We have a public comment portion of the council meeting. It's where the public may address the council on any matter listed on the council agenda for the meeting or directly related to the operations of the City of Lee Summit, except for those matters that are the subject of the public hearing requiring the testimony to be sworn in. Each person wishing to provide public comment will be afforded 3 minutes. Any person wishing to give handouts, please give them to the clerk so she can then distribute them to the council. I will start with Ms. Giddings. Would you like to go first?
Hi, Debbie Giddings, 1015 Southeast Fortnum Drive, Lee Summit. I wanted to congratulate you on reading your proclamation about Planning Month in October. Of primary importance, change is constant, and the planners navigate the change and the data and expertise in that. I find it interesting that on the consent agenda, you approved, without talking about it, a preliminary development plan extension request, and I'm sure it's been talked about at some point that I wasn't aware of, that was planned in 2023. The traffic study was done in 2023, and I'm sure before it has to be finally approved, it'll go by the Planning Commission, and it'll all have to be looked at very carefully. But there was given a 1-year extension to this plan with absolutely no changes, and it's going to be mixed-use apartments and retail, and just like all the other places that have apartments, I'm sure. Since then, I went back and looked at notes. You have approved a similar type development, despite much public dislike for it, on Ward Road at 150. Hopefully those will be calculated in the extension of this contract or plan. I know Ward Road and 150 very well. My mother died in Raintree Village in May. I ran back and forth across that oval Harbor Walk Parkway every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. My point here, change is constant. Let's make sure when we're approving things that we're taking into account something about the change that's occurring in our town and navigating the data with the expertise of everything that is going on around the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll do Ms. Fallwetter.
I've played video of meetings here several times.
Teresa Vollenweider, 5201 Northeast Maybrook Road. We're going to be talking about 5261 again this evening. Am I going to just be able to bounce back and forth between these? I'm guessing I can. And that is this property right here that was divided from this property. This 1 acre was cut out back in 1975. So it was this whole thing. So I'm going to start with the Planning Commission meeting. Did I use this one?
Yeah.
If we're weighing the concerns about the use of the ball field going forward, I find that the testimony of the applicant, their attorney, and the staff to be on par, on whole, more convincing than not. And as such, I think that this is an appropriate use of land. If we don't grant the rezoning, which I think is the alternative here, the land is going to sit. It will not be used. It is less than 4 acres. It's not really particularly suitable to any significant agriculture. It currently has a building on it that is there, as well as a baseball field, which, as best my recollections can tell, is good for growing nothing other than skinned knees and weeds. It's not going to be agricultural use land in the future. And so given that, I think the bearable alternatives that we have, I find that a residential use is probably the most appropriate, given the surrounding uses around, including those of the community members who have testified here today. And all of those things being said, the way that we can best approach a residential use is to grant a rezoning to residential large lot, or I guess RDR was another option, but large lot is one of our available options. And so with that, I will state for the record that I am going to be in support of recommending approval of this application.
Okay, He's saying that it's gotta go from ag to residential large lot to put a house on it. I'm gonna say that's wrong. In 1997, Steve Hamline bought that property from the Blairs. And by that property, I mean that whole piece. In 1999, that piece was divided. The UDO was November 2001.
Ms. Baumgartner, your time is up. Sorry, it's not a conducive
What
setting
is
for
the
this
chance
type of
that
thing. So
none of
I've
these
got another
folks
speaker
knew
that's
how
gonna
to
come
look
forward
up
at this time.
deeds?
I've got another speaker that's going to come forward at this time.
What's the
Mr.
chance that none of
Moses,
them knew?
You're up next as soon as I can get the floor.
What is the chance that none of those people knew that? $19.99.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and residents of Lee Summit. My name is Angel Moses, also known on social media as Kansas City Accountability. I stand before you today, not as an enemy of the city, but as a concerned citizen who believes in accountability, transparency, and the Constitution. I reached out to the Chief of Police, the Mayor, and the City Manager to discuss corruption and misconduct within our government, law enforcement, and municipal court, but I received no response. When silence replaced accountability, trust began to die. So I took it upon myself to teach our youth and even law enforcement officers about the Constitution, the laws, and basic rights that protect us all. But how do Lee Summit feels about this, me exercising my rights? Instead of support, I've been ridiculed. After I reviewed police body cam footage, I see police telling the residents and other workers that me exercising my right, that I am a nuisance to the city, that I have mental problems, that I'm not right in the head. Officers look me up on social media. They run my name through their database, my picture, to get my name. They check me for warrants when I've done nothing wrong. One of your officers even handed me a piece of candy directly out of the trash can. That is the same and only officer I put a compliment in on. So where do we stand now, Lee Summit? Now I'm being trespassed from Lee Summit PD from federal property, the United States Post Office, even though I left peacefully. Post Office is federal property that is outside city and police jurisdiction. At the time of the event, I was even employed at the Post Office. When local government acts beyond its authority, that's not law enforcement, that's abuse of power. Over 80% of convictions in this country come from plea deals, not from justice. You wanna know a fun fact? It takes 6 months to become a police officer. It takes 24 months to become a barber or a massage therapist. So what is officers truly being trained to do in 6 months? Are they learning the Constitution or just how to make an arrest? The duty of every government official, every officer, and every court is to uphold and to protect the Constitution. But how are you going to protect something you don't understand? If you have a pen in your hand, please pick it up and write this down. This is a code. This is 18 U.S.C. Section 241 and 242. I repeat, 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242. Conspiring to violate someone's constitutional right under the color of law can lead up to 10 years in prison, or you can be put to death. I am not here to attack anyone. I'm here to remind this council I'm not giving up. I'm here to fight, not with anger, but with truth. Because accountability isn't hate, it's love for the people and love for the law that protects us all. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have agenda item 7. This is a presentation. World Cup 2026 planning discussion, development services, short-term rentals. Ms. Nassif?
Right now, Kansas City, y'all. Hey, that's my first time doing one of these, a city council meeting. Hey, we'll definitely be back. We'll be back probably here every week that I can, you guys. I wish I could have said more. It landed right on time. I did it perfectly, y'all. But we're not over. I am being trespassed from Lee Summit post office, you guys. Lee Summit PD is trespassing me. I'm going outside their jurisdiction. But if y'all love the content, y'all really want to keep pushing me to get y'all these videos, to let y'all see on the inside what's actually taking place behind closed doors, please hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and most definitely leave a comment. Till next time, Kansas City, peace.